The following is a presentation of William Patterson University Television, WPTV.
Welcome back. Movies and TV shows based on books, novels, or comic books always seem to polarize audiences to some degree. Are they accurate? Does it leave out much detail? Or does it fall flat on its face? Our segment, Split the Difference, is all about that. And we're going right for the throat on this next segment for Harry Potter, the big one. So we're going to need some help. Van and Kaitlyn clearly are here to help us with splitting the difference. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, we're good.
Ready to talk about Harry Potter?
Always.
Always? Are you sure? I don't feel like you are.
No.
We're ready. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Harry Potter, what is it? Do the movies and the books, do they tell the same story? Whoever wants it. Kaitlyn, go for it.
Well, Harry Potter is obviously just about a boy who gets thrown into a magical world. It's basically like a coming-of-age story, but, you know, better because it's magical and there's just awesomeness. And I'm going to cry because I keep thinking about Harry Potter. But yeah.
Don't cry. We got like 4 more minutes of this segment, so don't cry.
Oh my God.
We, concerning whether it's like the same story or not, they definitely like follow the same plot points, like, oh, okay, at this point this happens, at this point this happens, and they do happen in order, like from the books to the movie if you compare it side by side. But because there's so much detail and so much world building inside the books, you miss out on a lot. So it feels like a different story when you read and when you watch. But
yeah, because there's so much like detail in the books that is hard to like relay onto the screen.
Yeah, that kind of ties into my next question.
Yeah.
Like, what changed from the books to the movies? What were some of the big things?
Well, obviously they had to cut a lot of stuff out.
A lot of
because
stuff
there's so much in the books that they physically can't do that budget-wise or just film-wise, like putting it
That'd
into
be a long
the movie.
movie.
It'd be a very long movie.
They're already like
they're already like
3
hours.
Oh my God! Like, imagine having everything in there.
yeah,
So
but
what do you think?
it'd be so great for the bookworms
I mean,
to see
I'd
everything.
still watch it.
I'd still watch it. But what was the difference? It was, well, the thing is,
It's very like character-based. So
yeah, the movie's very character-based. Because sure, you have this whole world building, and that's what the fans love, is the world J.K. wrote. But ultimately, we're focusing on the characters in this world, and that's that's really what changed between the movie and the books. There's like this character Neville, and in the books, his importance stems from the fact that he was almost the chosen one, and that he was on the other side of the line.
He was the one that could have been.
So interesting. That timid, that he was Gryffindor, the guy that the Toad, very beginning in Sorcerer's Stone. Like, really, that guy was almost the chosen one.
He was almost the chosen one.
Yeah, it all sort
It's
of.
like the movies didn't even like. Did they even touch on that?
Not
That must
really,
have been a big.
no.
That's a big difference.
But
right?
But it was really interesting how they changed it, because in the movies it was more about Neville developing into himself and becoming a stronger character just on his own free will instead of depending on a prophecy.
That's
which
really cool.
I really liked, and I really liked the mirror image that the books and the movies portrayed for Neville with in Philosopher's Stone. At the end, he won the extra
cup.
10
The last
points.
few points,
He won the house cup for everyone, and then that sort of like showed like, oh, he won everything. And then in Deathly Hallows, he ended up killing the last Horcrux, which ended up helping everyone win and beat Voldemort. So I really like that mirror image of him.
But that's also a really good thing about the adaptation itself, was that you started and you ended at the same points, but you got to see the same character go through 2 different paths. So it's really up to the fans with which path you prefer.
What would you change?
Nothing.
Was there anything you would change? Well, I mean, what would you change from like the movies to the books?
We can't change Harry Potter because Harry Potter changed us.
Wow. Someone put that on a motivational poster.
Despite whatever tiny flaws Harry Potter may have, it is perfect. So you can't just change it because the filmmakers tried.
It's such an awesome
hard
world.
As they
it's such an
got
awesome
it.
world they built.
Yeah, they tried to be as loyal as possible.
The only thing
to the
that
books.
would be changed is possibly help out Ron a little bit with character development. That poor character in the movies, he was almost flat all the way through. Aww. But in the books, you get to see more of a specific character development within Ron himself. So that's nicer with the books to get that more freedom with detail.
Okay, so this one's for each of you. Movies or books? Which one's better? Which one's the better? Desert Island, if you could have the books, if you could have the movies, which one? Choose one. Which one?
It kind of just, it depends on the type of person you are. It sort of depends, like if you prefer to read or if you prefer to, if you're very visual.
What about you, Kaitlyn? That's what I'm asking.
Okay. Well, for me, I started out watching the movies, and then I went to the books because eventually, because especially for someone who doesn't like to read, like I'm not a huge reader, but when you watch the movies and you fall in love with the story, you have to go back to the books just so that, so that you get more of that story. Yeah. Without the books, you wouldn't have the movies. So. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting.
Without the books, you wouldn't have the movies. But like she said, whether you start with the movies or you start with the books, you end up coming full circle. Like I read the books and then I heard the movies came out, so then I went to the movies. So it made me appreciate the story in a different way.
So the books?
From when I saw.
All right.
So no matter where you start, you end up falling in love with this story. So I recommend anywhere you go.
Either way, awesome. Well, there you have it. We split the diff out of that Ferenc. Get it? Up next is the return of our press start favorite game on the tip of my tongue. Van, Kaitlyn, thank you so much. Talk about Harry Potter anytime. We'll see you guys